Hello everybody and welcome to another breakdown video. I thought I'd do a video this morning to be fair instead of screenshots because I haven't done a video in a while. I know some of you really like the videos compared to the screenshots, which is fair enough. And there's a little bit of a complexity with this one, to be fair. The rules are exactly the same, the entries are exactly the same. It's just a little bit of a difference with the thought process. But anyway, let's get straight into it. So, NZDUSD London Open. Let's mark out our previous Asian low, which was here, and obviously our high is here, right? We know this is our low because this is where the last candle body is broken below, and we know this is our high because when this high forms we get that candle break below, so this is where the pullback starts. Cool, pretty simple. So let's wait for that to break. So there we get our intent to the downside. Now in this scenario here, essentially what I was seeing is just nothing clear. Price is efficient the whole way down. We haven't got any liquidity wicks. I even moved time frame and there's just nothing there. So at this point here, I was essentially just waiting to see what happened. Now, if we got a successful retrace and then broke again, what I could then do is try and make sense of the successful retrace on the seconds. But at this point here, I'm not particularly interested in marking out a POI because I don't know if it's this candle. I don't know if it's this candle because there's no inefficiency. You know, the funny old saying, if in doubt, imbalance it out. I can't do that here. So essentially at this point, I was just waiting to see what happened. So we get a big move up and then we break to the upside, right? So then essentially what we've done is we flip. So now we've got intent to the upside. So we had intent to the downside and now we had intent to the upside, right? Now, at this point here, what we need to do is mark out our OB that caused it because you guys know that I like following order flow, right? Basically all the trades that you'll see me take myself is following some sort of order flow. Now at this point here, we know that we need to make sure what's happening on our next time frame. So let's have a flick through. Okay, so we've also got a 2-minute break. We've also got a 3-minute break. We've also got a 4-minute break. And we've got a 5-minute break, right? This is our London Open. This is our London High. And then we broke that, correct? So let's mark out our OB. And then what we're going to do, just like we said before, we're going to wait for price to come back and then retrace off. Now, the only complexity here is that what we can see is basically price pushes off. And when we get a push like this, generally speaking, if I'm trading the London Open and price retraces back like this, right, and then pushes again, by this time we're basically trading New York. So what I was basically thinking here is if price can retrace back into our impulsive OB, which is this one, and then I can get 1-minute order flow back out of that, I'm going to trade the 1-minute order flow because I know why the reaction is happening, okay? So the reaction will be happening because of this OB, and I can trade the order flow out, if that makes sense. So let's play. Okay, cool. So let's drop down to the 1 minute. I'm going to get rid of the sessions thing now. It's a bit annoying, a bit in the way. We're going to do exactly the same thing as always. So we're going to mark out our high. This is our high here because we have this body break. So let's mark out that. Okay, we can now mark our low. Why can we mark our low? Because we've now got a body break above. So let's mark that. And this is our current range. We're going to wait for a break either side. Okay, so we've got that break to the upside. So now what do? We can remove our low because it's not needed right now. And we can mark out our OB. Cool, so then we're going to wait for a retracement back in to then break again. And then like I said before, we're then following that order flow that I like to see. Now at this point here, we break below this candle. So we've actually made a new high. So let's mark out the highest wick. And let's do that. And then what happens is we break above again. So we've basically got the two rules before order flow is formed. So at this point, all I'm going to do now is I'm still going to want price to come back to here, but I'm just going to take a note of the next time frame up, and I'm going to mark out my next time frame high. So let's do that. I believe it was this one. Yeah, that's the 2-minute high. You can have it in a different color, orange. Cool. Let's go back to the 1 minute. Let me just put my phone on mute. There we go. Okay, so let's just continue watching and see what price does. We then get that tap into that OB, okay? And then we go up and we break again, right? So now at this point, we've already had the two rules, but we have come back and mitigated, okay? So now what we can say is we can follow order flow because our last point of order flow is, and our invalidation line is going to be here. Let's mark that. difficult. So let's have a little quick recap. So we're basically in the 5-minute London impulsive OB. Because of the impulsiveness of the move and the time it's taken to get back, I'm just going to say to myself, okay, so I'm going to wait for 1 minute order flow out, because I'm still trading the London session here, aren't I? And I'm trading it with logic because I've seen that 5-minute OB, yeah? I've then waited for this mitigation to form, and I'm aware of where my next time frame high is. I can then mark out my 1 minute OB. Let's do that. I'm going to get rid of this for now because it's a little bit messy. Let's mark out this. Let's make that black. And let's continue playing. Okay, so at this point here, we break again. And what do we also know? We also know now that our 2-minute high has just broken. Now at this point, we need to make sure that our 1 minute POI is still relevant. Okay, and it's actually not on the 2 minute because we have a break here, right? So our 2 minute OB is actually here. So let's move up again and let's see if anything's happened on the 3 minute. And what we can now see is we've got the same intent on the 3 minute as we did on the 2 minute. However, our 3 minute OB is here, isn't it? Yeah, because there's no pullback until it breaks. So the 3 minute OB is this one. We've got a pullback and then we break. Yeah, and then if you remember, our 1 minute OB, which is following order flow, is within that 3 minute POI, right? If that makes sense. So then we're going to wait for price to get back. Okay, so price is back in. You guys already know how I enter. Let me just get rid of this for now. 5 second generally is my favorite entry time frame, as you guys know. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing when price gets into here. So price is in. Now this is a little bit of a weird one because our high was actually the same candle as our low. I'll be honest, I don't particularly like these because here we can see we've broke above this little dot and then we've made this low, but it's still the same thing anyway. So let's mark it out. And then we break, right? And where's the OB? The OB is quite clearly this one. Oh, I don't know why that disappeared. Let's continue playing. Now at this point, we've just had a retracement because we broke below, so we know that this is a high, so let's mark out that. Okay, so we've now had the 2 rules. Let's continue playing because price is still valid until we break the 3rd break, which has just happened there. Now when we get this 3rd break, what do we know we need to do? We simply need to move up the time frame. So let's delete that order for now. And then move up to the next time frame. And I'm going to wait for exactly the same thing, intent, and what's just happened, we've just got our next time frame intent, right? Where's the OB? I think the OB is pretty clear. 2 seconds, sorry, my phone keeps going. Give me 2 minutes. There we go. Where's our 2 minute OB? Our 2 minute OB is quite clearly here. 1 pip stop loss is absolutely fine. We're covering the low. NU does have a bit of funky spread, as you might know. So 1 pip's definitely needed. A half a pip would have been very risky. Let's continue playing. Okay, we've made a new high, so let's mark that out. Price comes down. I don't think this initial move actually ticked me in because of the spread. So I'm actually strangely lucky that a little bit of drawdown happened in a strange way. Let's wait for the next break. We get that next break. We're now break even. Let's move out to the 30-second. Is there any reason for price to come back? Does that break there? No, it doesn't. So technically price can come back to this OB at this point. Oh no, it can't actually, sorry, because our 30-second break is here. Let's mark out our 30-second high. But generally speaking, the reason I go break even pretty quickly is because once we get that move out of that OB, generally we're going to get a release quite quickly. You won't really find, if you get an entry, you're going to either win or lose pretty quickly. You don't usually range within this sort of area. You usually just go. Now at this point I was aware that the 30-second OB was down here, but I was fine with that. If we break even, we can look for an entry based on the 30-second, but that doesn't happen and it continues to move. Let's go up to the 5. I've actually had a really nice release, to be fair. You don't always get a nice release on a Friday, but we can see that this one's running really nicely. We're running at about 1 to 28. I've taken 10R and the rest is now just going to run. Now, why am I letting the rest run? Because we know that we've got that daily intent OB to the downside, right? So let's have a little look what the target could potentially be. I don't know why that's not showing on the, oh, there it is. So we're looking at about a 1 to 186-ish target up to the daily OB. But yeah, I mean, I hope that makes sense. The thought process behind it's a little bit different to what I usually do. We saw our 1 minute break. The 1 minute break wasn't clear, so we moved up. We saw the 5 minute break. We waited for price to come down. We waited for 1 minute order flow. We found that. We had to move up because we had multiple breaks. We found the 3 minute OB, which was the same POI. We overlapped the POIs, waited for price to come in, and entered as usual. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, you're always welcome to tag me. Please don't use DMs if possible. Please do, just tag me in the chat, whichever group you're in, or the tickets and the mentorship if you'd rather be private. But yeah, I think that's pretty simple, to be fair. And like I said, any questions, ping them over, and I hope you have a good Friday.